turn on YouTube captions for a better viewing experience. The new Season 5 has just been released for Star Wars Hunters. And with the new update, gave us many new features, most notably the mod system. But let's not forget about the balance changes for some of the hunters they've given us as well. Some of our favorite hunters have been given the nerf Namor, and also some unexpected hunters have been given an extra boost as well. Let's talk about it. Coming up at the top of the list is the icon herself, Imara Vex. And would you look at that? She received yet another buff this season. Imara is kind of like that ex-girlfriend that keeps coming back to you saying she's changed, but you know she hasn't. I don't care if that kid is mine. I'm busy playing Star Wars Hunters, so leave me alone. Now this new balance of Imara Vex more so reflects the changes that were implemented during the first PC play test back in December. Her fire rate has been decreased from 19 seconds to 15 seconds, meaning an overall faster firing rate. The weapon spread has been decreased on the first set of shots, but has increased overall. The weapon recoil has been increased by 10%. And the last change Imara received is her missile launcher doing more splash damage from an increase of 20 to 40. All in all, faster firing rate, change in weapon spread, increased weapon recoil, and more damage to her rocket launcher when landing into a group of enemies. I have noticed this change for Imara to be quite successful for her, as players have been dealing noticeably more damage to me. It'll be harder to land your shots as a whole from now on, but the best option is to burst fire your rounds instead of just holding the trigger. That way the recoil resets instead of becoming a larger radius to miss shots in. Much needed change for Imara, and I feel she's in a solid spot on the roster so far. Next on the chopping block is a very anticipated hunter, if you will, that we've been expecting to get nerfed since she's been released. And of course we're talking about Pillbush. The bush has dominated the scene since she got released in Season 3, but hasn't received a single nerf or change since. And now justice is served, and it's best served at room temperature. On a side note, hot temperature food is overrated. You have to wait to eat it, or just bite the bullet and burn your tongue. Lukewarm food is the real meta. Pillbush got a reduction of health from 225 to now 200. Her weapon reload time also got nerfed from 1.25 seconds to 1.35 seconds. The much-abused overload ability saw a duration decrease from 5 seconds to 4.5 seconds, with the fire rate being decreased from 25% down to 20% for level 6. And lastly, her Wisty throwables got a nerf from their slowness being reduced from 60 to 50% at level 6. Again, these nerfs have been needed for a long time at this point. Her damage output and those slow Wisties that you can spam was very annoying. And I still find her to be quite strong at this current time, but with the introduction of mods, every hunter shouldn't have to struggle as much against her as before. Her ultimate is still very overpowered as well, but I think the devs didn't want to overload the nerfs on her all at once, so we might see that nerf in the near future. Moving up to the Season 4 launch Hunter Nox, she received a nerf buff to her poison spread shot. I say nerf and buff in the same sentence because you'll see why here shortly, so we'll just call it enough. Enough said. I can't believe how chill I am right now. The overall cooldown has been reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. The draw time at level 6 has been reduced from 1.2 seconds to 0.7 seconds. And finally, the damage has been reduced by 10 points per arrow across all levels. I tended to avoid using the poison arrows because of the longer draw time in match, so I'm glad to see this ability get nuffed. After Nox, we got a rework to our favorite lightsaber hunters Jay, 3DI, and Reeve. Since the introduction of mods, you can incorporate stamina buffs to these hunters if you so choose, so the devs decided to make his previous max stamina just be his base stamina as a whole. So when you level up his abilities, you will no longer receive a stamina improvement, but an improvement to his deflection multiplier instead. The deflection multiplier will start at 30% at level 1, but will increase all the way to 55% at level 6. His base stamina level will stay stagnant at 230 throughout all levels. The The same could be said for Reeve with her stamina regeneration delay and speed remaining the same respectively. The deflect multiplier will be the same as J3DI, 30% at level 1 with the max level 6 being capped at 55%. We got a few more hunters to talk about regarding balance changes, and spoiler alert, all three of them are tanks. Tanks have played a prominent role in this game, at least in the ranked mode. Most notoriously, the Hunter Slingshot. Slingshot received a nerf to his Rocket Barrage Scatterboom. Each rocket has had its damage decreased from 17 to 16, which may not seem like much at all, since you have 8 of those bad boys. That's like an 8 damage decrease. I've been advocating for this ability to get nerfed, so it's a step in the right direction, but they definitely could have nerfed the rockets a tad more to my liking. His explosive shield has received yet another nerf as well. The explosive damage from his unstable shield has gone down from 50 damage to 40 at max level. And with his last ability, the Trick Shot, looks like we got ourselves into another nuff situation, ladies and gentlemen. I repeat, this is not a drill. Has anyone seen a bottle of Jergens laying around somewhere? Please tell me. The buff is that the ability has a reduced cooldown from 6 seconds to 5 seconds. The nerf, however, is that the max damage previously being 100 is now cut down drastically to 50 points. The minimum damage is still 40 points. The duration for maximum damage has increased from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. The devs noted that the Trick Shot should be used more for mobility purposes and not relying on damage, which I totes agree with. 100 damage for each Trick Shot is ridiculous, and considering how beefy Sling is, I'm glad that ability got taken down a peg. I still think his large health pool is going to be an issue for most hunters, but now that he's not doing as much damage with his abilities, taking him out should be somewhat easier. And no, I don't mean take him out like on a date or anything like that. Unless you're into that kind of stuff. Does the Droideka come as a package bundle? Big green lizard coming through, guys, watch out. I've been begging and pleading for the devs to nerf his health booster for some time. And here it finally is. A 25-second decreased duration, along with the max healing cap reduced from 225 points to 200. On paper, this doesn't seem like much, but in-game, honestly isn't that noticeable either. Another step in the right direction, but it's going to take more than baby steps to get a hunter off their game completely. Well, I'm sure these next 2 nerfs are going to be more impactful to little guy. Nani? Oh gosh darn it, we can't escape the nuff dimension everywhere you turn. Everywhere you go, buffs and nerfs piled together. It's like one big conglomerate of sweaty dudes in a locker room, and you don't know where to sit because there's odors all over the place, but you're kinda into it in a weird way. Not speaking from experience, obviously. The snare trap has seen a damage increase from 10 points previously to 30 points as of now. The duration of the trap has been decreased from 3 seconds previously to 2.25 seconds now. And finally, his tether ability will deal damage now, which it previously did not. The tether will deal 4 damage each tick with the hunter you have wrapped around the lasso of truth. If Char wrapped his big lasso around me, I'd be like, oh geez, Mr. Char, please don't hurt little old me. The last tank we have to discuss is our girl Chaos. Her shoulder-mounted blaster received a nerf, with the time between each shot within the burst being increased from 1 to 13 seconds. The reload duration has also been increased from 1.56 seconds to 1.78 seconds. Honestly, I always thought Chaos was perfectly balanced. Her blaster shield thing was definitely the best aspect of her, but that was her only ranged option. I think this nerf won't do that much harm, but a buff to one of her other abilities would have been nice. Well, I was about to end the video here, but I forgot about the Butthole Sprocket rework that just got released. Man, Sprocket is so forgettable that I almost completely looked past him here. It's like Pokemon at TwitchCon when one of her tier 3 subscribers tries to get a hug from her. Buddy just turns completely invisible all of a sudden. Sprocket has a new turret ability, the Baby Turret, along with a revamped Big Boy Turret as his ultimate. The mini turret deals low damage, but has a high fire rate. His ultimate will deal more damage with splash damage introduced, but with a slower fire rate. Looks like Mama Sprocket found out about the drone fetish he had going on, so he tossed them out in exchange for a healing droid ability. The healing droids can target specific hunters that Sprocket may so choose, which will heal that hunter and also Sprocket at the same time. I like the healing droids better than the med beacon because you can launch those suckers at a distance to heal, instead of having to cram together where the droid is placed floating in the air. The enemies can also easily damage the beacon, rendering it useless. I still would like to see some damage resistance added to the droids as well, to sort of compensate for the lost drones he had before. He has 2 of them at once, which competes well with Score spam healing her teammates. Besides that cool stuff, all the rest remains the same. I like where the team is heading in the direction for Sprocket, but some might even call this a nerf because of his other removed abilities. I also feel that his ultimate turret shoots too slow for my liking. It's pretty easy to dodge and get away from at times. The turret puts in work when you're fighting the whole squad and they don't really notice it's there. Kinda like me at the TwitchCon events. I do like the changes they added for Sprocket, but we'll have to test him out some more to see if he can compete with Skora at the top level for healing your teammates. That will be all for this showing of Star Wars Hunters. Tune in next time for my say on the new season so far. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. This is Avenue signing off.